The story began the way royal earthquakes always do, quietly, with the smallest detail slipping into public view before anyone inside the palace realised how explosive it would become. It was a photograph, one of many taken during Prince William and Kate Middleton's recent public appearance. At first glance, it was ordinary. William in a tuxedo that seemed to strain against his rigid frame, Kate stepping out of the car with her usual poised grace. But eagle-eyed observers noticed something missing, something that has never gone unnoticed by the nation: her ring. The iconic sapphire engagement ring, Diana's ring, was nowhere to be seen. That was enough. In a monarchy built on symbolism, a missing ring is not just jewellery, it is a message. And within minutes, the tabloids had turned it into a national emergency. By mid-morning, the British media had gone into full-blown meltdown mode. Headlines blared that Kate had gone so far as to take her ring off. And if there is one thing the British tabloids live for, it is a royal mystery wrapped in emotion and sprinkled with past scandals. Social media erupted. Commentators began zooming into the photo, sharpening the pixels, cropping, enhancing, enlarging, and circling that empty finger with bright red lines as if they were investigating a crime scene. To the tabloids, that bare hand became the symbol of royal turmoil, the silent scream of a woman who had reached her limit. And to the public, it became the centerpiece of speculation that quickly spiraled beyond anything the palace could control. The frenzy intensified when old whispers resurfaced, whispers the palace had hoped were long dead. Rose Hanbury. The tabloids practically salivated as they resurrected her name, the same woman whose existence has haunted royal gossip circles for years. They dredged up every old rumour, every hint of tension, every alleged falling out between Kate and her former friend, transforming it into the central thread of a refreshed scandal. Suddenly, headlines claimed Kate's recent disappearance from public life was somehow connected to Hanbury. The speculation was framed with loaded insinuations, the kind designed to keep the story alive by suggesting everything while confirming nothing. The tabloids acted like they had uncovered a national secret, weaving together Kate's disappearance, her current emotional state, and the missing ring into one thick rope of royal drama. Inside the palace, panic allegedly erupted like a silent explosion. Aides were said to be flipping through their phones, sending frantic WhatsApp messages, drafting statements, and then instantly destroying them. The royal communications team, already weary from months of intense public scrutiny, now faced a new crisis that threatened to overshadow every official event on the calendar. Insiders told the tabloids that the corridors of the palace felt tense, controlled, but undeniably trembling. Everyone, they said, was walking on eggshells. The reason was simple. Stories involving William and Kate are not mere gossip to the institution. They are the foundation upon which the monarchy balances its future. Any hint of instability sends shockwaves through the entire system. But the tabloids were not done. They went looking for quotes and they found them, or rather, they found sources willing to fuel the fire. A royal biographer stepped forward with claims that instantly became front-page headlines. The biographer said that Kate, devastated, had allegedly gone as far as barring William from contacting a close friend, and that she had ordered him into counselling to save their marriage. These claims, repeated across dozens of outlets, ignited a new wave of conversation. Whether true or not, whether exaggerated or entirely fabricated, did not matter to the tabloids. What mattered was the drama. And in a matter of hours, a simple missing ring had transformed into a narrative portraying a marriage in crisis, a princess at her breaking point, and a prince supposedly forced to confront his role in the turmoil. Every newspaper ran some version of the same theme. Kate was fighting for her sanity, fighting for her marriage, fighting for her children, and fighting against forces both inside and outside the palace. The tabloids painted emotional portraits of her pacing the gilded halls, sleepless and determined, demanding honesty and accountability, determined not to be humiliated again by old rumours that had never fully disappeared. They portrayed her as a woman pushed to her limits, one who had stayed silent while the world dissected her health, her body, her absence, and now her marriage. The British gossip machine constructed a cinematic image of Kate Middleton as a tragic heroine, carrying the weight of royal expectations on her shoulders while privately wrestling with heartbreak. But they also crafted another version of her, strong, stern, and unwilling to pretend anymore. Tabloids claimed she had drawn a line in the sand, telling William that things had to change, that counselling was no longer optional, and that any further contact with certain individuals was completely off the table. In their dramatisation, Kate had transformed from a patient, loyal duchess into a queen-in-waiting who knew the power she held, and was no longer afraid to use it. The public devoured every detail. Social media platforms erupted in commentary, conspiracy theories, and debates. Hashtags exploded into trending positions across multiple countries. People dissected old photos, compared Kate's jewellery from event to event, dug up past interviews, and re-examined every public appearance the couple had ever made. TikTok creators produced video timelines with ominous background music, presenting elaborate theories as if they were solving a historical mystery. Twitter, X, threads compiled screenshots, zoomed-in images, and quotes from old gossip articles to create narratives that grew wilder by the minute. Instagram accounts posted side-by-side comparisons of Kate with and without her ring, speculating on her emotional state through her smile, posture, and body language. The atmosphere was so intense that even journalists noted, "I haven't seen a royal story blow up this fast since the Megxit era." The digital storm had merged with the tabloid frenzy, creating an unstoppable cycle of speculation that even the palace couldn't extinguish. Every attempt by palace officials to redirect public attention or create a sense of calm backfired. Whenever the palace released a new photo of Kate smiling or walking beside William, the tabloids treated it as staged. Every attempt to appear normal was met with even more analysis, every public sighting treated as evidence of secret tension. The palace, according to insiders, struggled to control a narrative that had taken on a life of its own. It wasn't simply about a ring anymore. It was about the future king and queen. It was about stability. It was about the monarchy's image. And worst of all for the institution, it was about whether cracks were forming in the very marriage that symbolises continuity and confidence for the British crown. The tabloids began posing dramatic, unthinkable questions that were once considered untouchable territory. Could the Waleses separate? Was the marriage in jeopardy? What would a royal split mean for the crown? Suddenly, royal historians were pulled into the chaos, offering commentary on national television and online platforms. They solemnly reminded the public that the monarchy has been shaken before by marital issues, and that such moments often leave lasting scars. One historian said, "When royal marriages fail, institutions tremble." Another commented on how symbolism matters to the monarchy, how every missing ring, every stiff appearance, every rumour can have ripple effects on public trust. Through all of this, Kate's earlier disappearance was dragged back into the spotlight. At the time, it had been shrouded in medical explanations, and though many accepted them, a vocal portion of the online world never quite believed it. Now, with the ring missing and rumours swirling, those same voices resurfaced. Old theories were revived with new energy. People began asking whether her absence was truly about health, or whether the palace had been hiding deeper marital fractures. The tabloids seized on this angle, suggesting that disappearance, secrecy, and emotional turmoil had all been intertwined. But the most powerful part of this entire narrative was not fact. It was silence. The palace did not deny the stories. They did not confirm them. They did not explain the ring. They did not address the biographer's claims. They said nothing, and that silence was interpreted as its own statement. In royal narratives, silence is not neutral. It is a vacuum instantly filled with speculation. With every passing hour, the absence of a clear answer created more room for new theories. By now, the story had escaped the tabloids and entered the realm of national obsession. People whispered about it at work. Friends sent each other screenshots late at night. Couples debated it over dinner. It became a cultural moment, the way big royal scandals often do in the UK. And every new detail, every breathless rumour, every whisper from unnamed palace sources only pulled the public deeper into the story. The emotional weight placed on Kate in the tabloids grew heavier. They depicted her as lonely, exhausted, and overwhelmed by responsibility, forced to maintain composure for the cameras while battling inner turmoil. At the same time, other outlets portrayed her as fiercely protective of her children and determined not to let any scandal affect them. In this version, she was a mother first, a princess second, and a symbol third. But no matter which angle the tabloids took, Kate became the emotional core of the narrative, the suffering yet strong royal woman whose story captivated the world. Meanwhile, William was painted in shifting lights depending on the outlet. Some framed him as distant, stressed, overwhelmed by royal duties. Others portrayed him as a man caught between the expectations of the crown and the demands of his marriage. A few tabloids took a harsher line, suggesting emotional detachment or stubbornness that pushed Kate to her breaking point. The narrative changed daily, sometimes hourly, depending on new rumours and the creative imagination of media writers desperate to outdo one another. And through it all, Rose Hanbury's name circulated like a ghost, never fully addressed, never fully dismissed, but always hovering in the background as the unspoken catalyst fueling the drama. Every old photo of her resurfaced. Every old article was recirculated. People began crafting timelines and drawing connections that may or may not exist, but the tabloids didn't care. For them, the story was gold. And with every mention of her name, online engagement skyrocketed. As the frenzy grew, palace insiders, real or invented, offered cryptic hints, claiming tension was high, that conversations were intense, that certain topics had become unmentionable. These claims were printed as fact, even when they were nothing more than sensational whispers. The entire situation spiraled into a spectacle so enormous that even international media outlets joined the frenzy. Suddenly, American networks, European magazines, and Australian tabloids were all publishing their own interpretations of the story, each adding more drama, more speculation, more emotional weight. It became a global event, one missing ring that turned into thousands of headlines, millions of views, and endless content. And through all of it, the question loomed: what does this mean for the monarchy? The narrative grew darker as commentators began exploring hypothetical futures. Some imagined the monarchy losing credibility if the marriage was truly in crisis. Others reflected on the irony of history repeating itself, with royal marriages once again becoming the focal point of national debate. But the truth, the real truth, remained known only to the couple at the centre of the storm. The tabloids had created a royal saga so elaborate that even reality struggled to compete. And the palace, steadfast in its silence, allowed speculation to flourish unchecked. That silence became the final ingredient in the media wildfire. To the British public, to the international audience, to the digital commentators, the missing ring became more than jewellery. It became a symbol of secrecy, a symbol of pain, a symbol of royal vulnerability, a symbol of a story that the palace wasn't ready to tell. And so the world watched, waited, speculated, laughed, debated, analysed and obsessed. Every new photo was treated like a clue. Every non-appearance became suspicious. Every public smile looked strained. Every tabloid headline escalated the crisis by another degree. The palace is still silent. The tabloids are still screaming. The public is still dissecting. The marriage is still being questioned by millions who know nothing and assume everything. The storm continues to intensify with no sign of slowing down, and the monarchy, whether it admits it or not, is being shaken in ways it hasn't been since the chaos of Harry and Meghan's departure. And all of this, every rumour, every headline, every speculation, every meme, every hashtag, every dramatic thread, every whispered source, began with one small detail captured in a blurry photograph: Kate Middleton's bare finger.
the submission itself sounds nice. And to my amazing and peculiar Sussex family, thank you all for watching our videos and tuning in to Daily Diaries Friday's update. Keep it light, keep it there, and see you next time in our next episode. Bye bye. May you have a good day and a good time. Keep shining. Bye bye.